You know, Canadians, we have a lot of skills besides hockey. In baseball, we can do a lot of things. We're talking two or three languages in the outfield helps talk to Spanish or American players that would be sharing the field, Yola Tango, as we like to say. But did you know that the greatest cheater, maybe scuffer, in pitching history was a Canadian? Today we're going to be talking about the interesting case of the Yankee record holder for most wins by a rookie, the very aptly named Russ Ford. Now, Russell William Ford, born in Brandon, Manitoba, was a Canadian American pro baseball pitcher. He played in MLB for the New York Highlanders, Yankees of the American League from 09 to 13, and the Buffalo Buffheads Blues of the Federal League in 14 and 15. He is credited with developing the emery ball. Now, if you don't know what the emery ball is, it's basically a scuff baseball. Now, born in the great province of Manitoba, he grew up in Minneapolis, where he began his baseball career. After he noticed how the ball moved after it was scuffed, he mastered how to doctor the baseball with a piece of emery paper hidden in his baseball glove. Using the pitch, he won 26 games in his rookie year with the Highlanders in 1910. After a pitch was outlawed in 1914, his results declined and his career ended in 1917. He is a member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. Again, born April 25th, 1883 in Brandon, he was third of five children born to Walter and Ida Ford. His mother was the second cousin, and get this, Grover Cleveland, who served as President of the United States. The Ford family moved to the States when he was 3 and settled in Minneapolis when he was 10. He played sandlot ball in the Twin Cities. Russ's older brother, Gene Ford, also played in the major leagues. Gene pitched in 7 games with the Tigers in 1905, and his younger brother, Walter, played in the minor leagues. Now, with a career record of 171 with a tough 2.59 average and 7 or 10 strikeouts, he was known again for his mastery of pitches. Now, he made his pro debut in the Northern League with a team based in Enderlin, North Dakota in 1904, but the team folded during the season. He continued playing in the 1904 campaign with a team in Lisbon, North Dakota. After a recommendation by his older brother, Ford was signed by Bill Watkins, the manager of the Minneapolis Millers of the AA. In July 04, that's when he started. In April 05, Watkins sold him to Springfield Senators of the Illinois, Indiana, Iowa League, or the Triple I. In 1906, he pitched for the Cedar Rapids Rabbits of the Illinois, Indiana, Iowa League, again the Triple I. At the end of the 1906 season, the Atlanta Crackers of the Southern Association drafted Ford from Cedar Rapids, sort of like the New Jersey Honkies. Now, in 1907, Ford discovered the emery ball, a pitch that was thrown with a ball that had been scuffed with a piece of emery. We don't know how he found it, but again, according to published reports, he came across the pitch by accident. When warming up with catcher Ed Sweeney under a grandstand due to the rain, he accidentally threw a ball into a wooden upright marking the surface. Ford threw another pitch with a damaged ball, and now noticed how it occurred more than previous pitches. He continued to study the effects of the rough patch on the wind resistance of the baseball when practicing, but did not yet begin to use it in the game. Now, when he returned to Atlanta for the '08 season, his pitching began to draw attention from major league squads. The New York Highlanders of the American League purchased Ford from the Crackers. That's a line you don't hear every day, by the way. Now, Ford made his major league debut for the Highlanders against, of all people, the Red Sox on April 28, 09 as a relief pitcher. He pitched 3 innings, allowing 4 runs on 4 hits, 4 walks, and 3 hit batsmen. After the game, the Highlanders demoted Ford to the Jersey City Skeeters of the Eastern League, where he spent the rest of the '09 season. With Jersey City, he began to use the emery ball during games by hiding a piece of emery paper in his baseball glove. He pretended to be throwing a spitball, which was still legal at the time. Now, when he pitched for the Highlanders in 1910, this is his second season, he tried to discuss his emery ball as a slide ball, a type of spitball that could move side to side, in addition to up and down. Now, Ford, with this unique pitch, or set of pitches, won 26 games against 6 losses for the Highlanders, and true complete games and all 26 wins. He also had a 165 earned run average, which was the 7th best in the AL, and 209 strikeouts, which was 4th best. Ford also shared a secret as Emery Ball with teammates Eddie Foster and Earl Gardner, who he roomed with when the Highlanders were traveling. Now, for the 1911 season, the Highlanders paid Ford a $5,500 salary, second highest in the team behind only Hal Chase, the first baseman and manager. In 1911, he won 22 games and lost 11. He also had a 2.27 ERA, which was the seventh best in the American League, and he was top 5 in strikeouts. In 1912, he only won 13 games while losing 21, and his strikeout total decreased to 112. His 21 losses, 115 earned runs, 11 home runs allowed, were the most in the AL. Ford had 13 wins, 18 losses, and a 2.66 ERA in the 1913 season with only 72 Ks. Now, during the 1913 season, he announced he was giving up the spitball because of the strain that it put on his shoulder and wrists. Now, New York attempted to cut Ford's salary before the 14th season, so he jumped to the Buffalo Buffheads of the Outlaw Federal League. He had a 21-6 win-loss record for Buffalo in 1914 with 123 strikeouts, and his .778 winning percentage was the best in the Federal League that year, and his 1.82 ERA was the second best behind Claude Hendricks. He was reported to be using a knuckleball during the 1914 season. Now, in 1914, September, Ray Keaton, who had learned the Emery ball from Sweeney, was caught using it. The major leagues decided to ban the pitch, with Ban Johnson, quite the name, president of the American League, calling for a $100 fine and a 30-day suspension for anyone caught attempting it. The other major leagues followed suit. Unable to use the Emery ball, he struggled as he attempted to develop a new pitch, and was released from Buffalo during July. He was re-signed later in the month. Ford went 4-9 with a 4.52 ERA for the 1915 campaign. Now, following the collapse of the Federal League, his contractual rights reverted to Yankees, who gave him his unconditional release. Returning to the minor leagues, he pitched for the Denver Bears of the Western League in 16 and 17. In July 17, Denver sold Ford to the Toledo Ironmen of the American Association. In 1918, he was playing in semi-pro baseball for a time. By 1922, Ford and B. Lawler were serving as coaches for the Minnesota Golden Gophers baseball team, the college baseball squad representing University of Minnesota. Now, Ford married Mary Hunter Bethel in 1912, and the couple had $2 together. After his retirement from baseball, Ford graduated from college. His family moved to Rockingham, North Carolina, near Mary's hometown of Reedsville in 1923. He went into banking, worked as a cashier in a local bank. In the 1930s, he worked for an engineering firm in New York City as a draftsman. When Mary died in 1957, Ford moved back to Rockingham and lived a quiet life in retirement. He unfortunately passed of a heart attack on January 24, 1960, in Rockingham. Ford was possibly entered into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in 1987, into the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame Museum in 2002, and in the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame in 2004. And again, all because of an Emery board. Like, it's tremendous how everything like this pans out. It's very interesting. And I'm telling you about this. Most Canadian pitchers in the major leagues now, most of them are not cheaters. But the fact is, a guy like Russ Ford, who basically used an illegal pitch, it was good. It was quite important. Now during his minor league stint, again, we're talking about when he discovered the ball with Atlanta Crackers. He said after a pitch sailed over his catcher's head and smacked the concrete grating, a scuff mark appeared on the ball. Using the same ball, his next pitch had an unusually sharp break. Armed with this information, he began soon employing a piece of emery board on his ring and cut a small hole in his glove because he didn't want opposing pitchers to find out his secret. So quite amazing. Now, Corey was a right-hander as well, and the fact is, I don't think many New York Yankee fans know this, but every time an American player would get busted for, grease balls or whatever, Russ Ford doesn't come up. Instead, it came up in Canada. I don't know, it was one of the Necros or somebody was throwing away one of these emery boards, and he got caught. And the Canadian announcer said, well, that's a good Russ Ford impersonation. And then it became, the other announcer didn't know who we were talking about, and Russ Ford the story of him. I like to see somebody doing like a Canadian version of 30 for 30 on Russ Ford, just to see, because I heard he was a very very quiet and unassuming guy, but I mean it ain't cheating if you don't get caught, and sometimes you got to cheat to win. But imagine this: I don't think many New York Yankee fans know that the best rookie pitcher in Yankees history was a cheat or stretch the rules. I mean, it wasn't PEDs. It was like a 1 cent piece of scuff for the ball. Amazing. And just knowing he could throw something like that, and like he was working on a knuckleball as well. I mean, pretty weird, pretty weird. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the story of the great Canadian scuffer, Russ Ford. If you like what we're doing here with our baseball podcast, Vintage, inspired by our great friend Ryan Thompson, let us know what a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.